Pashaparo, YNet7, thank you for tuning the replay. The more I learn over time about how to communicate with others, how to demonstrate stuff, all the more strategies, all the more tactics you gather, the more I learn, the more I realize that if I need to utilize these tactics, I'm not sure if you're the type of person that I want to be talking to. Go back to the video on pacification versus motivation. If I gotta really worry about more, if I have to be more worried about how I say something to you versus if you get what I'm saying or not, then that makes me your puppet. See, because you'll always be in control if I'm really concerned about my delivery. So the more I learn, the more I realize the only reason you need to know these tactics is to give somebody something that they really didn't want at the time. Because when you want it, don't nothing stop you from receiving it. So you'll get people that say to you, well, maybe you need training in how to talk to people. And they don't realize that what they're saying to you is that they're so used to being disposable, they want you to feel disposable too. They're so used to bringing information that people don't want, they want you to feel that way too. People got a lot of keys, but it's a lot more doors than they have keys for. And a lot of people don't know how to work together for various reasons. They don't know how to work together properly. And that's really why I like, what I'm doing now in a certain arena, is because I'm learning the ins and outs of project management. And yeah, you got people that's like, yeah, you gotta go out there and just deal with people and get with reality. But like I said, if I base my experience off of what you believe, then that only works with you. If you focus on the truth, the mechanics, the system, the equation, now the people have the opportunity for it to work with all of them. But they gotta want it. You can't encourage enough someone to give you something that they don't want to give you. It don't matter how much you've shared with them before. It don't matter how much you gave them freely prior to. They will find a reason to say you're undeserving. I give to you all freely. I position myself in a situation where I require really nothing of you but your time. What we're going to go over today is going to be titled Master Puppets or Puppet the Master. See, like I said, basically followers or leaders. What do you want? Depends on your demonstration. So today, we're going to take a look at demonstration. What are you demonstrating to those around you? Are you aware of what's being demonstrated to you? So like I was saying earlier, the more I learn about how to, like, from 20 through 33, I was trained in controlling conversations, controlling a call, tone, and all these things, all these concepts to give me advantages on achieving my goal with other people. And it got fucking boring. Because I could literally just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to get 10 sales. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do this. And do it. Because no matter who you were or what you thought, I knew how to get you to do what I want you to do. And what I realized is I'm mastering puppets. And it became obsolete to me. It wasn't fun. It was quite boring because I already knew the outcome. So that encouraged me, that motivated me. I didn't pacify myself and say, wow, I could take this and run the whole. No, I would be in control of nothing more than puppets. And all that means is that as soon as they get a greater emotional attachment or someone that they come in and gives them a perceived better offer, they'll be their puppets. I don't want to be talking to puppets. My music's not for puppets. Wine 7 is not for puppets. I picked this image today because it's very symbolic. You have the earth at the bottom. Then you have the puppets that are put on display for the people of the earth. Then you have the perceived puppet master controlling the puppets. But if you really look closely at this, you'll notice that the puppet master is a puppet as well of something greater. So let's get into this. Demonstrate was a verb back in 1552, which meant, entirely to point out or show divine omen or wonder. So entirely plus point out, entirely plus show. So entirely point out or entirely show. Entirely a divine omen, the entire divine omen, or the entirely wonder. Because a proper demonstration should satisfy your wonder. A proper demonstration could be known as a divine omen. A proper demonstration is going to show or point out to you in its entirety. And then prior to the verb, it was originally a noun form, adjective. But what we're dealing with here by demonstration is to entirely point out, entirely show, to satisfy the entirety of wonder, or entirely being a divine omen. This is a demonstration. My question is, what is it demonstrating? Let's go back to demonstrate. To entirely point out, to entirely show. So what is this demonstrating? Because in comparison, this is a demonstration as well. Note the difference in the two. This one has a huge number of gatherers. This one has a small group of gatherers. This one has no apparent leader of the demonstration. This one clearly has someone leading the demonstration. This one has 10 million points to prove. I'm exaggerating the number because what I'm really trying to say in this one is there's no focus. There's no one focus that's going to be proven from this demonstration. Other than you can get this many people to stand next to each other for a certain period of time. And probably every basketball game, rock concert, sports event has already proven that. This one has something in particular it is wanting to prove to those in attendance. This one has a purpose. This one has drive. This one has purpose. This one has a lot of drive, yes. But where are they being driven to? What is the focal point of the demonstration? Like, what are you trying to prove? This one, the onlookers, the gatherers, will come away with a higher consciousness of something. They will have learned something that they could take back to small groups themselves and now demonstrate to them what they have learned. This one will not be able to do that. Everybody here is not learning the same thing. Not saying they're not learning something from the experience, but they are not all learning the same thing. And it's because there was no leader present to keep the gathered group attention on a particular focus. This one, the giver of the agenda is present. That's why they're able to facilitate the purpose of the demonstration. This one, the leaders of the demonstration are invisible or not present at all. Now, we can flip back and forth between this for a long time. Let me know in the comments below what other differences are there between this demonstration and this demonstration. So we had an etymology. Demonstrate means to entirely point out, or to point out, or to show entirely. It's an entirely divine omen, a miracle, a demonstration, or it's an entirely a wonder. So there was some information, and the source was related to farming. You can say directly or indirectly. We know that the population is seen to be a farm, cultivating people in different cultures. Here, the metaphorical farmer is present, and he has a small group of high quality plants that he's tending to. Here, the farming process is automated, producing tons of product, but of what quality? And of what purpose? So when we go to this indirect farmer's information, you'll see that demonstration there means showing by doing. The basic principle of demonstration is learning by seeing and doing. Here, by definition, is a demonstration. Here, by emotional attachment to the word, this is called a demonstration. To show by doing. Basic principle of demonstration is learning by seeing and doing. Here, you're learning in small groups by seeing and doing something probably or possibly that you wasn't as familiar with prior to the demonstration. This has value. For the spread of information and knowledge. Here, what are you seeing and doing? What are you learning that you're going to be able to duplicate and add value? Because when you look at farming, demonstration means showing by doing. The basic principle of demonstration is learning by seeing and doing. Here, you're cultivating. Here is a culture. All right. So, the method demonstration. It is a short, tight demonstration. Its main purpose is to provide only skill. It does not compare between the old and the new technique or skill. It means comparative study cannot be done. It is the oldest form of teaching. That's the method. Its main purpose is to provide only skill. Which one of these looks like a method demonstration? Result demonstration. This method is based on seeing by doing. It is a long type of demonstration. Comparison between two practices, old and new, is always done. Results of both practices are shown. It is very effective in adoption. Which one of these do you feel like, if we had to look at just attendance, maybe I gave away the clue, but which one of these is going to be the most widely adopted demonstration. So if we look at the method demonstration, it's a short demonstration. Which one of these is going to be shorter than the other? The one with a purpose, that's going to go through a series of steps. Why? Because its main purpose is to provide only a skill. Which one is going to be short and to the point? Because it's only trying to illustrate to you a new skill that you're going to need 13 steps to master. Which one is going to be short in comparison? Which one could last for decades? It does not compare the method demonstration. It does not compare between old and new techniques or skill. It means comparative study is not done. Which one of these is talking about what's been done before them? And which one's not? The oldest form of teaching, method demonstration. Provided a skill. Does not compare old and new technologies because it's focusing on telling you what you need to do it this way proper. Or at least that's its purpose. So the result demonstration is the long demonstration. Comparison between practices old and new is always done. Which one is doing that? Results of both practices are shown. So that's why you got all these signs showing 10,000 different million results. There's no signs here, just attentive learning. It is very effective in adoption. Seeing by doing. Monkey see, monkey do, right? If you ask each one of these people why they're here, how many different reasons, if you ask each one of these people what they look to gain from this, how many different answers are you going to get? Versus if you ask, okay, let me rephrase it. If you ask this group of people, what is the demonstration designed to deliver to them? To them individually in their attendance. You're going to get a million different answers. And a lot of them are going to be nothing about what they're supposed to be receiving from the demonstration. Is going to be supposedly what the demonstration is going to force some other person or group or entity to receive from the demonstration. But remember, you can't force someone to receive what they don't want from you. So let's take a look at this now. National demonstrations. It's the third type. As described from this source, national demonstrations are the front line demonstrations. You might as well call them FLDs, as you see listed there. Conducted by researchers on the farmer's field. Which one, if you're saying that the nation is the farm, the population is the product, which one of these pictures would represent the farmer's field? Because national demonstrations are the frontline demonstrations, the FLDs, conducted by researchers on the farmer's field. See, when you're looking to get data, the researcher is not a part of the culture. Like, culture meaning like petri dish. See, this researcher is present. They're going to be hands-on with the experiment because these people that have gathered here know what they're seeing is an experiment. He doesn't have to hide because they know it's an experiment. This demonstration, conducted by researchers on a farmer's field, the researchers are not present so that they do not affect the data. National demonstrations is a composite of both method and result demonstration. Because someone, go back here to my puppet video, my puppet picture. The puppet master attends the small group demonstration. And they get fed the knowledge from some greater source that they then use to control the puppets who are used to control the regular people. So that's this. And these people here, when you go to college or when you go to these special courses or schools, the first thing they're telling you is that you'll be able to take this knowledge and go out into your field, and we'll just say conquer. You'll be able to take what you learned here and go into your field. Because national demonstrations are the front line demonstrations conducted by researchers on the farmer's field. So the people that attend this demonstration are the ones controlling this demonstration from afar, metaphorically speaking. For those that don't understand, I'm speaking in metaphors. This is much more, it's not secret. This gathering is not secret, but it's not as publicized, or as not as many people has paid attention to its availability as this demonstration. Let's go back to our data. The main objective is to show how production can be increased per unit area and per unit time. This and that. The main objective is to show how production can be increased per unit area and per unit time. What are you producing? Excuse me. What are they producing in each one of these people? You don't know, do you? But they do. And they'll activate it whenever they're ready. Matter of fact, some of the people in this picture are in this picture due to what was installed in them prior to being activated by the people that attended the small demonstration. Because that's how puppet to puppet relationships work. Multi-level marketing, tier structure. Multiple cropping systems are usually followed, and high-yielding varieties are used in this demonstration. Multiple cropping systems. So crop, you mean like dividing people or dividing systems, separating solutions of separation? You mean like class? You mean like caste? You mean like race? You mean like wealth? You mean like multiple cropping systems are usually followed, and high yielding varieties are used in this demonstration. This is why consciousness is the new minority. Because all this is really an effort to destroy those who are conscious. Because if you unite the masses in ignorance, then they'll be your soldiers against consciousness. Y'all don't understand the play. Because America loves a naive public. And you can't become a puppet if you know of the puppet master. You can master the puppet. You can puppet the master. Let's get back to it. So, such demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Some of y'all already know where I'm going to go with this. Such demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Such demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Now let's look here. They got listed audio visual aids. Under audio aids, they have tape recorder, radio, telephone. That's how this information gets to you to make you out here. That's how this information gets to you that allows you to show up here. What gets more attention? Why? Visual aids. You got projected and non-projected. We'll run through them real quick. You got slides, film strips, silent films, posters, charts, flashcards, flannel graphs, bulletin boards, and photograph. This is your Facebook. This is your Instagram. Your silent films is when you watching on YouTube and got the captions on so you don't gotta hear sound. You see what I'm saying? That's how some people wind up here. And that's how some people wind up here. It's the same tool being used to generate attendance in both demonstrations. Audio visual aids, you got television, motion picture, drama, and the puppet show. You gotta click the subscribe button. Yeah, then hit the bell for notifications. Because if you don't, you're just a puppet. And I understand if you don't. Because this ain't for puppets. So such demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So what national demonstrations occurred on a modest, quote unquote, because see now they're saying there's global demonstrations. There's demonstrations from city to city now. Neighborhood to neighborhood, worldwide. So what national demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to show how production can be increased per unit area and per unit time using multiple cropping systems, creating high yield varieties using both method and result demonstrations on the front lines conducted by researchers on the farmer's field. What national demonstrations took place in 1965? You got the Chicago Freedom Movement, led by nobody else than Martin or Michael Luther King. The movement included a large rally, marches, and demands of the city of Chicago. These specific demands covered a wide range of areas besides open housing and included quality education, transportation, and job access, income and employment, health, wealth generation, crime and criminal justice system, community development, tenants' rights, and quality of life. Oh, y'all thought this was new. What y'all doing? This way. Wait, let me go back to this. Such demonstrations were first initiated on a modest scale in 1965 by the ministry. It's like saying the church of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. You got the Vietnam War protest rally, DC, also co-sponsored by Women's Strike for Peace. Welcome to Washington. Oh, you mean like this is America? You got the Salem to Montgomery marches, Bloody Sunday. See, y'all may not understand that this is everything you asked for. And every time you make a large enough protest, you give them the opportunity to destroy you even further because they come in with the supposed solution that's only going to benefit them. Specific demands going back to the Chicago Freedom Movement. Open housing. You wanted open housing, now you're complaining about living next to each other. Why? Why you didn't expect that? And included quality. It included quality education. Well, if you let someone else tell you what a quality education is maybe why you're complaining about the quality of education today. You let someone else tell you. You fought for someone else to tell you what a quality education was. All of you. Transportation and job access. Instead of creating your own transportation and jobs. We fought for that. Now and this is not limited to just one group of people. Because see, they're complaining about corporate America. They're complaining about Amazon.com, control over the supply system of the country, of the world. Oh, he's multi-rich. Oh my God, he's evil. Complaining about Tesla because you didn't do nothing to develop transportation yourself. Income and employment. Again, you fought to be able to get from someone else instead of fought to be able to put yourself in a position to give. This is the culture in a petri dish controlled by the researchers on the farmer's field. Fought for access to a health system so that you can complain that the health system is designed to destroy you. But you knew they didn't want you there in the first place. Wealth generation. Crime and the criminal justice system. Community development. You fighting for someone else to develop your community, and then when they develop it so that it serves them best, you're offended. Tenant rights. Tenant is a renter. You fought for tenant rights instead of ownership. And quality of life, which everyone is still complaining isn't satisfactory because you allowed someone else to define what your quality of life should be like. How does this happen? Not here. It happens here, where the leaders aren't present and their people don't realize the experiment being conducted on them. Just like the little cells in a petri dish who never realize they're in a lab and there's a researcher controlling their growth and development. Classify them in little groups, giving them names, and either putting them to work or demonizing them for their own personal gains. This is why the conscious community is the new minority. This is why the zombie apocalypse is already here. This is how, rather. So types of demonstrations. They getting you in the classrooms early. They're taking classroom surveys. Unlike a lot of large groups, smaller groups are doing data analysis on the large groups. How many people in the large group are doing data analysis on the small demonstration people? The people who attend that group that winds up being the puppet masters. How many people in the large group are actually analyzing the data of the small group people that's controlling them from behind the scenes? Maybe then they would be able to escape the petri dish and become an outbreak of their own. Simulations. Again, the people attending this demonstration realize they are a part of a simulation. They are not confused by this being simulated for everybody's mutual benefit. The researcher's gonna get credit for these people going out and doing great in the world because they learned something from them. The people in attendance are gonna get absorb the knowledge to be able to utilize it or show other people. Here, these people in this photo do not realize they are part of a simulation. This is why the conscious community is the new minority currently. Look at the word classroom. We talked about, where is that? Multiple cropping systems. What's a cropping? Class. High class, low class, middle class. So now, what's your class room? The space where your class be at. Excuse me. So they're conducting classroom experiments. And then they go to your Facebook page and they can get classroom surveys as their data analysis system gives them feedback from all the simulations they apply. This is why the conscious community is the new minority. Because once people learn this, they can realize how they're being manipulated, and they can realize what they really need to know is out there. And then small groups. This is small group work. So small group work from the same detail from this farmer shit. Small group work can help students work efficiently. See, the small group of people know what they need to do or know what they want to do. So they go to the source and they learn from it together. This group may be a class. They are going to help each other learn, work with each other, know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to develop together based off the strength of the whole group. Not here. By sharing explanations and calculations with others, students frequently self-correct mathematical and graphing errors that could block successful completion of the assignment. More skilled students who might have been able to complete the work on their own will benefit by explaining their understanding to other students. The cooperative learning research literature recommends instructor-assigned groups of 3 to 5 students with written instructions so the groups work more efficiently. And there is individual accountability for all group members. That's what you get here with a demonstration where everybody's aware it's a simulation and the researcher is giving and investing into the group directly. This is understood that they're being programmed, and they actually are grateful to receive the programming knowingly because they have a purpose they want to achieve with it. These people have no idea they're being programmed, and they have no idea for what purpose, and they have no idea who's programming them, and they have no idea when it's going to be activated again. puppets. This is all from the same resource on farming. It is a media to communicate with farmers. Puppets are suitable for village people. You see? If you weren't so busy trying to be pacified, you could be motivated. You may have the information, but you want to be pacified and have someone ask you for it. You may not have the information and you want to be pacified to just be able to remain ignorant. That is the danger of the unknown demonstration that's been conducted on you guys, all of you, no matter what you look like, who you think you are, since at least 1965 in such fashion. This is why the conscious community is the new minority. Because as long as they can keep growing their demonstrations on the farmer's field, they can assume that eventually there won't be none of us left conscious. Master puppets or puppet the master? You want followers or you want leaders? Depends on your demonstration. Which one of these is actually demonstrating to a group of future leaders? And which one of these is demonstration by a group of followers? So let's get into the card. It's 11-13. So that's 4 or 5. And be careful, because in probably 8 out of 10 times, somebody wants to make a puppet out of you. I'm just trying to empower the leaders to carry the torch when I'm gone. I'm not looking for puppets. I don't want followers. I want leaders. So you see me shifting around a lot because I don't want followers. And I'm not a puppet. I hope you aren't a puppet either. And when people realize sometimes that you're not a puppet, they don't want you around the group. Because if they can't control you, you might express to the rest of the farm produce. They might have free will as well. would no longer make it a farm, but instead a sanctuary. Yeah, that's perfect for this. The Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, right? You know, that's locked in for you. The Two of Cups is the Lord of Love. And remember, the word love means a different grade. It's a noun, not a verb. So, the Lord of Love. The general meaning is get together, acquaintance, right? Which is perfect. Because I'm just really grateful that I can do this. But some days, some weeks, just like you, it's fatiguing. But for the greater good, you continue on. This, which one do you think is about love? A different grade. And which one do you think is about hate? Can we safely agree that less people know true love and are attracted to true love than know hate and are attracted to anything that has to do with hate? Because get together, acquaintance, you only like attracts like. So those that know love, a different grade, going to the next level, climbing, love, a different grade. Not the same level, not the same grade, a different one. This number of people is in small groups. A lot more people are focused on hate. And whatever you focus on, you attract. Acquaintance. These people are saying, it's amazing that all these people came out and came together for this group is saying, what we learned today, we're going to be able to do such and such with tomorrow. That's why these people, metaphorically, the small group people, stick together behind the scenes and manipulate this group of people who stick together as their, what was it saying here? Hold on. National demonstrations are the frontline demonstrations conducted by the researchers on the farmer's field. Just because they're conducting the research on the farmer's field, most likely they themselves are not on the farmer's field. Because they have puppets. Because puppets are suitable for village people. So, sympathy. which group of people is most in tune with sympathy? The small group? See, the sympathy they have to deal with is on getting each other to the purpose. It said they will work together to make sure they all reach the goal. The sympathy here is just so scattered that they can never work together and they don't have a goal. They don't have a unified goal. So events are cooperation, agreement, engagement, and matchmaking. That's what this card is symbolic of. No matter which demonstration you were a part of, even this one being fractured off into those who were peacefully protesting and those who was looting, you know, we're not discriminating against that. What we're saying is, no matter which demonstration you were a part of, because even in the class, there's a class clown, there's the nerd, there's the know-it-all, there's the no-show. I mean, there's the one that's gonna break something. I mean, whatever. But what you have, no matter which demonstration you attend, you have cooperation, agreement, engagement, and matchmaking. The question is, what are you demonstrating? Now in business, you're going to have a very fortunate partnership, merger of akin, directions, convergence of minor capitals, and minor income. Basically, there you go. This is the gift and the curse of off the top. So this group, no matter which demonstration you're a part of, you're going to have very fortunate partnerships in your perspective. You'll have a merger of akin, directions, convergence of minor capitals, and minor income. But you know what the difference between this group is and this group? What's the average minor income of this group? And what's the average minor income of this group in the semi-secretive that's not really secret? It's just that nobody cared about this. Love. They were too focused on hate. What's the minor income going to be of this group from this demonstration? So when you guys go to pony up to do something, you're arguing with each other in this group because you're like, we all need to come together and do a boycott national for one day, and nobody spend any, we all need to come together. All 20 million, which, how efficient or effective is that will that even work? But you need all 20 million because the minor income is what it is. So a fortunate partnership to them, maybe someone that can give them $1,000 towards a project that they're trying to work on. That's a fortunate partnership from their perspective on average, because you're dealing with 20 million, 40 million, 100 million people that have no agreement on a destination or a goal, no organization, no leader present, just scattered. Here, these small group the whole time. They've been, since their first demonstration together, they're going to be the ones that a minor income is like, oh, you need 100 grand? Here. A fortunate partnership to them, a very fortunate partnership to them. Oh, you need $5 million? Okay, we can write a contract for that. This scientist may be on a grant for $40 million. There's labs out there that's being handed $100 million. So what happens is, if you're one of these people who leave this group, find love, leave the hate group, focused on hate. Find what you love and start to demonstrate with those people. These people call you a sellout, because now you have access to people trying to give you 100 million, and because they lack the same structure, they know that they're only getting access to 1,000. They have to somehow justify to the rest of the group why to remain a part of the field instead of part of the researchers doing their experiments on the field. You can have an experiment that's meant to show good. You can have an experiment that's meant to bring out the bad. Again, the question is, you want to master puppets, or you want to puppet the master? So, in relationship, this does not denote love. Means amorosis. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Hold on a second. We both gonna learn something today. Amorosis, if I'm saying it right, per just the modern definition, is the quality of being amorous or inclined to sexual love, lovingness. So you gotta be inclined to sexual love or lovingness. Like, if you don't know it exists, if you don't know love exists, or if you don't know what love is in your life, then it kind of makes sense why you've been cultured, or how you've been cultured to only associate in terms of hate. You feel happiness about hate, you feel sadness about hate, you feel anger about hate, but all you know and can relate to is hate. You hate your job, you hate your car, you hate it a little less today, that's when you think you're feeling good, but you still hate it. Or we could be operating in love, which is a different grade. Here, you might be hating the world because of the way it is, and this is what you do in response. You know, Hitler hated the world, but he had some bigger backers financially, and not to say that he made some right choices in how he was going to express his wanting to change the world, but he was fully funded to do what he wanted to do. So, what are you demonstrating? What demonstration are you a part of? So it does not denote love, means amorousness, sympathy, again, in the relationship. See, sympathy here sounds like, hey, can you give me another second to write these notes down? Please. Sympathy here is like, can you tell us that we have value? Please. Like here, never mind. You already understand. I've done a couple videos on this. So, mutuality. Meeting with a very attractive person. See here, the attractive person is the researcher running the demonstration. In the crowd, the attractive people are each other, attracted to them both, knowing that they're coming through the same environment, circumstances, time, space, and energy together, and they're going to help each other through. Here, the attractive people is just each other for showing up. They have no idea what's next. Sometimes when you feel alone, you're just happy to be around someone. What are you demonstrating? So, health. Harmonious, minor diseases of twin organ parts, i.e. lungs, kidneys. Psychological characteristics is very charming, attractive person, fully attracting others to oneself. Nice. Advice is agree with someone for something. Response to an invitation. So the advice is agree with someone for something. See, they agreed with someone here for something in return. Or for something, period. Here, they ain't even agreeing with each other. And it ain't even for something. It's for all these different things. It's, you know what I'm saying? So, the warning is behind this acquaintance lies something new. That's key. Because here, what do you think the new thing is going to be? It's going to be new knowledge for them. It's going to empower them to achieve new goals and destinations. It's going to empower them to have new relationships with other people as they go and teach others. What's going to be the new for this? The new is going to be the appearance of leadership. See here, the leader's present. Leader saying, hey, this is simulation. Hey, you can take this and you can go into your field. You can do things with it. Here, all that is hidden. So the people are waiting for something to appear that they can all agree on. What did it say before? Advice is to agree with someone for something. Response to an invitation. So here, because you have no idea what you even showed up for, you're almost at the liberty that the first thing that shows up and says something for you that sounds remotely like something you want to agree with, you will agree with and accept the invitation. Because you never knew what you were doing in the first place. You were just there because you had a bunch of people with you. There was no leadership. There was no purpose. There was no destination. I'm not saying you didn't have the feeling that caused the drive, but you didn't know where you were going to. So how do you know if you ever arrived if you don't know from the start where you're trying to get to? You just driving forever till the tank run out of gas. And that's what happens with these things. This is why consciousness is the new minority. Maybe we need a conscious rights group. So the result is time of the amorosis. I don't know how to say the word. Amorousness or fortunate cooperation. So you're going to make yourself suitable for intimacy or sexual acts, intercourse. And I don't mean that it has to, metaphorically, that doesn't have to mean sexuality. Like, it could be mental exchanges, intercourse of the mind, body, and soul. But you're making yourself suitable for that. Or fortunate cooperation. So no matter what demonstration you attend, this is going to be the goal or the success of it. You're going to get the same opportunities just from attending the demonstrations, no matter which one it is. This is why, who was Mother Teresa, Maya Angelou, one of them said, don't invite me to an anti-war rally. Instead, invite me to a pro-peace rally. Because if you go to the anti-war rally, you're going to meet people that are going to appear to be attractive persons if you want to be anti-war. There are going to be people that's going to offer you funding to promote a fight against a war. If you're going to be fighting against a war, there must be a war for you to fight against. Always. Or else you will lose your funding, so it would behoove you to make sure that there's always war. Whatever you want to say. There's going to be sympathy for you as long as there's war. But if you focus on peace, you're going to find resources to actually achieve and sustain and maintain peace and love. So, what are you demonstrating? Master puppets. If you have the knowledge, if you have what they want, do you want to really master puppets? Or do you want to puppet the masters? Just need to know if you want followers or leaders following you. Depends on your demonstration. If you want a reading, which I'm actually getting booked up, but if you want a reading, hit me on the inbox. Donations only. And if you want to donate to offer help, whether it's the channel or any other growth of Pasha Pyro or YNet7, you can also use the Cash App $YNet7. I just need you guys to understand this, because the more we observe at a certain level, the more that's I think that's what forms secret societies. I think that's why they're out there doing what they're doing, because they're tired of trying to offer solutions that people maybe hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, didn't want, and they took it upon themselves to just say, you know what, we're just going to cultivate the world. We will be the farmers of the world. Pasha Pyro, YNet7, thank you for tuning the replay.